And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the San Francisco Giants franchise. It'll also wrap things up here for the regular season, as the next episode you will see will be the regular season recap video.
Oh shit, here we go again.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Or at least sort of semi-back, not really 100% like post every day, full-on content creator back, because I think that phase of me as a person, me as a content creator on YouTube is kind of just gone. I don't think I'm ever going to be that guy who posts every day, at least until MLB The Show 20 comes out, and then maybe I'll have the urge to do that again. But as of right now, essentially what we're going to be doing is finishing up this series. This is going to be the last season of the Giants franchise, so we're going to finish up the playoffs, and then that'll be the end of the series. Whether we win the World Series or not, the Giants franchise will be coming to an end at the end of the playoffs. So what does that mean for content on this channel in the future if there's going to be no more Giants? Essentially, it's going to just be not daily content. I'm just going to be posting whenever I feel like it, and it's usually going to be some sort of Fellows-related content. It'll be like those racing videos, like the F1 and NASCAR videos I was posting, and NHL videos, where I'm playing with the fellows, Ian and Burns, and we're just, shooting the shit, and they're just poorly edited meme sort of videos, but not really meme sort of videos. They're just us having a gaming session. And the thing about the fellows is we aren't like any other YouTube content creator group you see on YouTube making videos like that, because we're not really content creators. I'm the most content creator person out of all of us. The rest of us are sort of just kind of like washed up YouTubers. Like, we don't post content anymore. They don't post content anymore. Definitely not like regularly. And when we get on and game together, it's not like we're getting on every day with the intention of being like, alright guys, let's be funny, let's be entertaining, let's try to make some content for the YouTubes. That's not our goal when we hop on and play as a group. Generally, we play like once or twice a week, and it's whenever we're all able to hop on at the same time. Usually it's like 1 o'clock at night, or 1 o'clock in the morning, I guess would be the correct term. So basically, we're just 3 friends that hop on like once or twice a week, and like 80% of our session is pretty much just inside jokes and just shooting the shit about what's going on in like the sports world or like on Twitter that day. And sometimes stuff like that is usable in the videos. Other times, not really, because it's not going to make any sense, or it's just not interesting seeing me read off a bunch of tweets, essentially. And then, like, the other 5% is just me reading tweets from super ironic leftist Twitter and just confusing the hell out of Ian and Burns. And then the other, like, 15% of the time is usable clips for video. So sometimes it takes me, like, 2 weeks to get one video done, because we won't have enough content that I could put into a video through 1 or 2 sessions. But that is going to be something that I am going to be posting whenever I can post it. I'll probably figure out something eventually to post alongside that, but I mean, I just don't think that this channel is going to be something that is a daily upload, super serious channel. It's just something I use for fun whenever I feel like being creative, and sometimes I go through bits where I just don't feel like being creative, which is what happened essentially in this month that I've been gone. I just didn't have any motivation to edit. And, if I don't have any motivation to edit or play the games that I'm posting, then I'm not going to force myself to play those games or edit those games, because at the end of the day, I'm a person, and I'm not going to destroy my mental health just so I can force myself to do stuff. But with all that being said, let's just hop straight into the video and get things going. So our Giants end the season with another 100+ win season. 103 wins to be exact, a strong finish to the season after a tough week in the middle of September, and if we take a look at the standings, the NL East, the Mets finally won the division, and they are going to be making the playoffs. All their position player signings have finally got it done. Their pitching is still garbage, but they have made the playoffs. The NL Central goes to the Chicago Cubs as they just edged out over the Milwaukee Brewers, who were 2 games back. And then, of course, we won the West while the Padres get the top wildcard spot. They were 13 games back in the West, and they also, in the wild card, we won 103 games, Padres won 90, they were the top wild card team, and that was more wins than any other NL division winner. So their 90 wins was more than the division winner of the NL Central and the NL West, and they will be playing host to the Phillies in the wild card game, as the Brewers also just barely missed out on the wild card game. They were 1 game back on that, 2 games back in their division. Taking a look at the American League East, you've got the Red Sox, who easily won their division, 10-game lead on the Rays, who did get a wild card spot. The Yankees were dead last in the division, as they just have a brutal fall from grace, as they just let all their players walk and replace them with garbage players. AL Central, they went down to the wire once again, just like last year. This year, it's the Twins and Tigers who battled it out, and the Tigers get the division crown by 1 game, as the Twins will be hosting the Rays in the wild card. The AL West is the Angels are back in the playoffs, led by Mike Trout and their ace, Parker Bridwell, as we all expected. And as you take a look at the playoff bracket, there you have it in front of your faces. We will talk more about that later on in the episode. So let's take a look at our Giants player stats. Leading our team, OPS-wise, probably the best overall bat on our team. It's probably a competition between a few guys, but definitely one of the top 3 bats on our team. Gilberto Fuentes continues to be an absolute stud for us. His first full season playing against both righties and lefties, and it paid off. A .974 OPS, 43 home runs, 33 doubles, and 26 stolen bases. Elliot Ramos cooled off a bit in the second half, but he definitely finished the year strong nonetheless. .948 OPS, 42 home runs, and 33 doubles. Joey Gallo with a 900-plus OPS and 40 home runs. That's another 900-plus OPS and 40 home run bat in our lineup. He actually hit 49 home runs, which was tied for the league lead, and he led our team in doubles with 34 two-baggers. Jock Peterson, he is not the best bat on the team anymore, but he still put up solid numbers nonetheless. A mid-800 OPS, 27 home runs for young Jock. Jairo Munoz back from his injury, and he is raking. Finishes the year with an .864 OPS and 17 home runs despite missing a good 2 months of the season. And then we've also got Ryan Hacker, who had a chance to be the #1 catcher, and he ran with it. He gets on base like it is his job, and technically it is. A .406 OBP for Hacker, as he is our #1 catcher now. Javi Baez, definitely not another MVP caliber season. He did still hit 35 home runs, though. Lorenzo Ordonez, a down year from his absurd 2024 campaign. He will also be missing the playoffs. It is quite unfortunate, but the emergence of another outfielder makes it sting less. And the outfielder we are talking about is, of course, Carmen Castaneda, who has been nothing but electric since getting the call from AAA. .834 OPS, 8 home runs, 9 stolen bases through 165 ABs. He could definitely be a key contributor in the postseason for us. We've also got Gavin LaValle, who was a pretty good player for us, but mainly as a pinch hitter with spot starts here and there. He did his job on our roster. And then Reynel Delgado will be our main backup infielder heading into the postseason. He put up decent numbers through 116 ABs, just needs to work on his plate discipline a bit. And then Connor Panis will be on the postseason roster, but don't expect to see much of him because it was just a pitiful season for Pan the Man, unfortunately. Jorge Figueroa is another name who will be on the postseason roster. He will be seen probably more than Panis, if I had to guess. His defense and his pop off the bench will be valuable for us. And then Joey Bart, just yuck. A capital Y-U-C-K, yuck, is really all I have to say about Joey Bart. Chris Sale, definitely not prime Chris Sale anymore, but still an extremely good pitcher nonetheless. One of 4 starters with us with at least a 4 wins above replacement. Marco Murillo is another one of those guys. Got off to a shaky start, but he was legit one of our best starters down the stretch for us this year. Jay Groom, another very solid year for the Barnegat, New Jersey native, and he is totally healthy for the playoffs this year. Colby Allard picked up right where he left off before his injury. Just an absurd 4-man rotation for the playoffs for us, and just a reminder, Colby Allard was buried in the Braves minor league system for the entirety of this series until this year. Braylon Marquez split the year between the pen and the rotation. He was quite solid in both, and he will now go back to the bullpen for the playoffs as another great option out of our bullpen. JB Bukowskis, just like Marquez, split the year between the pen and the rotation. He was also quite solid. Keenan Middleton was pretty meh, but he's still a valuable power arm out of the pen. Brendan Finnegan finally broke out this year as a great reliever with the Texas Rangers, and we traded for him at the deadline, and he has continued being a great pitcher for us. While Jason Tutman, very much a down regular season from last year, but hopefully he can channel some of his previous success for the postseason. Domingo Acevedo was very solid out of the pen as a long man. I never really used him in big spots, and whenever I did, he did seem to struggle finding the strike zone, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen in the playoffs, but he's probably not going to be used that much in the playoffs. Yarlin Garcia, a fantastic ERA for him, pretty decent FIP, doesn't really strike out any batters, that's why his FIP is a lot higher than his ERA, and hopefully he continues to be effective for us in the playoffs, while Willie Arroyo is very fun to use in-game. He put up decent numbers. He's another solid option at the pen that can go multiple innings if needed. And now if we take a look at our team stats, we had the most home runs by a pretty wide margin. We hit 275 home runs, and then the White Sox, Astros, and Tigers were all tied with 238 home runs. Joey Gallo, Gilberto Fuentes, and Elliot Ramos all hit 40+, while Baez hit 35 and Jock Peterson had 27. Gallo was, of course, tied for the league lead with Cody Bellinger, and then we were also the most runs scored with 845, and we only allowed the 3rd least amount of runs with 587, just an absurd run differential for this Giants ball club. We were also 4th in total hits, 1st in doubles, and 2nd in stolen bases. If we take a look around the league at the award winners, Cody Bellinger won the MVP for the Philadelphia Phillies. The Cy Young went to Walker Buehler of the Padres. The batting title went to Mookie Betts of the Mets. Matt Koch of the Diamondbacks was reliever of the year. Fernando Chavez was rookie of the year of the Cincinnati Reds. The Gold Glove pitcher is our very own Marco Murillo. The Gold Glove right fielder is Mookie Betts of the Mets. And then the Silver Sluggers at third base, it's Joey Gallo. At shortstop, it's Javi Baez. And in the outfield, it is Elliot Ramos. So now let's take a look at the American League, where we have Alex Bregman, who is the MVP of the AL with the Houston Astros. The Cy Young went to Mariano Cuevas of the Toronto Blue Jays. The batting title went to Luis Urias of the Los Angeles Angels. They also had the reliever of the year in Archie Bradley. The rookie of the year went to Mandy Alvarez of the New York Yankees. The Hank Aaron Award was Stephen Prather of the Detroit Tigers. The Gold Glove center fielder was Akil Baddoo of the Texas Rangers. He's been quite solid for them ever since they traded for him. The Silver Slugger DH was Miguel Andujar of the White Sox. The catcher Silver Slugger was Francisco Mejia of the A's. And then the center fielder was Albert Almora Jr. of the Mariners, who is still a superstar out there on the West Coast. Or in the Pacific Northwest would be the more accurate description of it. Now we take a look at the postseason bracket. Take a look at it. There you have it. And then now you have it after the wild card game, where the Twins top the Rays and the Padres top the Phillies. That means we'll be taking on the San Diego Padres in the National League Division Series yet again. Of course, it probably wouldn't be any other way, because that's just what happens to us in the NLDS, so we take them on yet again. Hopefully we can finally get over the hump that is the Padres for us. Take a look at our rotation. 1 to 4 will be Allard, Murillo, Sale, and Groom. while the bullpen, confident in every single one of our options out there. Like I said, Domingo Acevedo is probably the one who's not going to get used in high leverage, but still, the rest of these guys are very good. Nonetheless, the San Francisco lineups, top to bottom, very strong. Only difference between the two is that Peterson is in left field against right-handed pitching, Munoz is in right field, while Castaneda's in left, and then Delgado is at second base against left-handed pitching. And then if you take a look at the San Diego side, their rotation is Gore, Kikuchi, Buehler, and Paddock. Montgomery will probably be in the pen for them. And then their bullpen is quite strong, of course, led by Josh Hader. And then they also have last year member of our team, Robert Gesellman, added to the mix for them. While their lineups are definitely not anywhere near as strong as they have been in previous years, Machado and Hoskins are still very good, but it takes a step down to Robertson and Jankowski, and then after that, it's not that great. So that could fare well for us, but you never know. The Padres do seem to have some sort of devil magic just hanging over our heads. Were they able to beat us in the playoffs every year? Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we will see what does happen in the next episode, which will be the National League Division Series against the Padres. So that'll wrap things up here for this episode. Game 1 is going to be Colby Allard, a lefty for us, going against the lefty Mackenzie Gore for the Padres. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I am saying, eat the rich.